Hey there, my name's Mallory and I'm here with All About Cats. And in this week's video, we're going to be taking an in-depth look at Petlibro's Easy Feed 6-liter automatic pet feeder. So last October, we published a review of one of Petlibro's older models. It was an upright, automatic, programmable feeder, much like the one that we're going to be reviewing today. Shortly after that video was published, I heard from Petlibro saying that they were about to release a new model that should solve some of the problems that we saw in the earlier version of this Petlibro feeder. So this review is going to be covering that new automatic feeder. So again, this is an upright programmable feeder that's going to be compatible only with dry food, and it includes a number of features that make it a nice upgrade from some of their older models. In this video, I'm going to be giving you all of the details on Petlibro's Easy Feed 6-liter feeder, talking about its performance, how my cats reacted to it, and whether or not I think that it's going to be a worthwhile purchase. So, as I mentioned earlier, this is an upright feeder, which means that it has this hopper where your food is going to be contained, and then that food is going to move through a dispensing chute into the bowl at the bottom. And this is going to be done according to a schedule of your choosing. It is programmable with up to 6 different meal times, so you can feed your cat 6 different meals each day, and each of those meals are programmable, so you can choose the portion size of each of those meals. The design of this particular feeder is pretty basic. It's pretty similar to that of other upright feeders I've seen, but it does have a couple of interesting features. One is that it has a light that's going to change from red to blue and send you a few different messages. So when the feeder is full and functioning properly, you're going to see a blue light, and then if there's a jam, that blue light is going to start blinking. When the feeder runs empty, it's going to change to a red light, and so that's going to indicate that it's time to refill the feeder. You're also able to record a custom voice message that's supposed to accompany each meal. Wessie, Forrest, come get your meal. So while it's not a smart Wi-Fi integrated feeder, it does have a few interesting little features. So the feeder is pretty easy to set up. It arrives essentially assembled. You're just going to have to put the bowl on, you're going to have to insert the backup batteries, and then you're going to plug it in using this little micro USB cable and an adapter. Once you've done all of that, you're just going to turn it on, and then you're going to have to start programming the feeder. So the first thing that you're going to do when you're setting this feeder up is to set the time, and then you're able to program your meals. So again, there are 6 different meal times, and each of them have adjustable portion sizes. So the way that this feeder works is by breaking down your cat's meals in so-called portions. So one portion, according to Petlibro, is about 15 milliliters. I measured it with a couple of different types of kibble, and it tended to be around 1 tablespoon per portion. And you can program 1 to 50 portions per meal. So again, if each portion is roughly 1 tablespoon, that's going to add up to between 1 tablespoon and about 3 cups. You have a lot of flexibility in terms of portion size for each meal. In addition to setting up those 6 meal times, you're also able to do an immediate feed by pressing the down button twice. So by doing that, you're able to just immediately eject some food into the bowl. So we talked about how to set up this product and how it should work in theory, but how does it actually perform? So I've been trying it out over the last couple of weeks. My cats are on a wet food diet, so they didn't really get that much use out of it, but I did try it out with a few different types of kibble and tested out all of its different functionalities over the course of the last couple of weeks. And during that time, I found that it did work pretty consistently. I found that it was dispensing on time, everything was regular and consistent. So I tested out a variety of portion sizes with this feeder, and I found that once I got up to the larger portion sizes of 10 portions or more, 10 tablespoons or more, which would be a little over a half of a cup, I found that I was running into some jamming issues. So what I found is that when the bowl got kind of full, it would start backing up against the chute, and more food was not able to dispense until I kind of stuck my hand in there to release the jam. So there's a little bit of a bright side to this. At least you get that jam indicator light, which lets you know that something's going on, but I would still consider this to be a bit of an issue. So in terms of security, I found that this feeder was kind of mediocre. On the bright side, it is an upgrade from some older Petlibro models that just have a lid that kind of lightly seats on the top and doesn't have any form of latch. This model has a nice little lock that enables you to keep the lid shut. I did a little bit of testing, tried to knock it over, tried to kind of paw my way into the hopper through the sides of the lid, and I wasn't able to do that. That being said, I found that it wasn't completely secure. If I jostled and knocked over the feeder, I found that some kibble would tend to drop out, so it seems that some is getting stuck from the previous mealtime and that I'm able to kind of knock it out. And I also found that I was able to kind of reach up from where the bowl was into the chute, and if I were a cat, could probably access some of the food in there. So it seems that the food hopper and the dispensing mechanism are relatively close to the bowl and relatively accessible from the bowl area. So I don't think that this is going to be a particularly good option for cats who are really motivated to get in and get that food for themselves. Now, as for my cat's reactions, again, they don't really eat that much dry food, so they were not using this as their primary bowl or feeder, but I did see my cat Wessie eating out of it. He seemed perfectly comfortable with it. Similarly to the last Petlibro feeder that I've reviewed, I really like the design of this feeder's bowl. It is just the right depth. It's shallow enough for a cat to eat from comfortably, which you don't see in a lot of higher capacity feeders like this one. And at the same time, it's not so shallow that food is just going to bounce out of it. I think that it hits a really happy medium in terms of bowl depth and size, and I was really happy with that. So aside from those security concerns, I would consider this to be an extremely cat-friendly feeder. Is this feeder going to be a good choice? It really depends on who you are, as usual. So I think that this feeder could be a good option if you want a nice programmable upright feeder that has some useful features but is not really bogged down in cool glitzy features. So I've tried a number of automatic feeders over the last year, and I found that some of them are really simple where you're just programming 4 different time slots, and then you have products that are fully teched out, and they connect to a smartphone app, and they have a camera, and they have all sorts of information and features that probably most users are only going to be taking advantage of in the first week, right? So if you want something that has a nice balance, I think that this Petlibro feeder could be a good option. It has some useful features like the indicator light, which is going to give you some easy insights into what's going on with the feeder. You get the voice recorder, and you get a good degree of customizability. So I think those are the main draws of this particular feeder. It's also a moderately priced feeder, so in the Petlibro store you can purchase it for $79.99 with free shipping. And I've also seen it on Amazon listed for $69.99, so $10 cheaper. There's also a way to get it cheaper than that, which is to use the All About Cats coupon code. So if you enter All About Cats at checkout, you'll get 20% off of this feeder, as well as any other products in the Petlibro store. That's going to bring your price down to $64, and that's the lowest that I've seen anywhere on the web. So if you're interested in giving this feeder a try, you can follow the link located in the description. So I think that's about it for our review of this automatic feeder. I hope that you found it helpful. If you have any experience with this automatic feeder, I would love to hear about it. Again, my testing period was relatively short, and my cats were not using it all of the time. So I would be interested in hearing about your experience with this feeder. So as always, thank you for watching this video. If you found it helpful, please feel free to give it a thumbs up. And if you're interested in similar product reviews, buyer's guides, and information on all things cats, please subscribe to the All About Cats channel, and you can click the notification bell if you want to get notifications every time we release a new upload. So thank you so much, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye.